Today we're going to use some wallpaper adhesive to create some color, depth, and maybe interest. So let's get to it. Hi, today's going to be a little bit of a different gig. Today we're going to be experimenting with a technique that I saw Catherine Rains do on her channel. I'll leave a link here above and down in the description to her channel. Interesting stuff she does, unbelievable multimedia artist. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this technique that she showed me. It's been about a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago at this point. But she created some papers using a product that is basically, it's a wallpaper adhesive and basically wallpaper paste. And what she does with this is she colorizes it. It looks white here, but it dries pretty much perfectly clear. And then with the colorations, she uses that then to create some papers. I'm going to show you that in just a few minutes, but I thought I'd take a minute and show you how I mix the paints. I've already done most of them, but I'm going to add just a little bit. I need a medium color in between my two main colors. The first, the one side is going to be quinacridone red, and that's Nova color. It's a transparent color. And the other side of the spectrum, I'm going to probably mispronounce this, bismuth yellow, and it's a translucent color. Between the two colors, I'm hoping to get a little bit of a spectrum. I want to try to keep it in that spectrum because that is part of what I'm going to be doing around the house with artwork over the next few months. So we have moved into our new place, and I'm pretty excited about getting my art room set up. It's a slow process, slower than I'd like it to be, but it's what it is. So I'm going to mix these up. In this case, I need a mid color. So I'm going to take a little bit of the yellow, and that's the wallpaper adhesive down. I just put basically a scoopful of yellow with a scoopful of the red, to 4 scoops of the wallpaper adhesive. Okay, mix this up. And the end run is in the bottle. I had a little bit of a mishap, so I had to do the rest of it off camera. I'm going to adjust things here just a little bit, and we'll get started with the next part. So I'm going to be working with some multimedia paper, and just because it's thicker, it has a good amount of thickness. I don't know what the weight is on it, but I'll check it for you in just a second. But it's thick enough that it'll stand up to what I'm going to be doing, and it'll allow me to pliable enough that it'll work in collage. So this is going to be what I'm going to be doing, is trying to create some texture and some depth of color. What you need to be aware of here first is when you're working with this, your surface that you're working on needs to be wet. I suppose I could do the same thing by wetting the back, but you want it to go completely down with a good amount of water. And just squirt it down. And you can see that it's wet, but it's not totally folding under itself. I tried this before this with wood stained tissue, and it was a little too flimsy, a little too delicate. So I came over and I said, let's try it with multimedia paper. So you want the surface to be wet. And you can notice I'm getting some bubbles underneath. So to combat that, I'm using catalyst wet. You can use pretty much whatever you use to try to get your work flat. And I'm just trying to use it to remove the bubbles. I want it to be as flat as I can. That's pretty good for now. Now, I'm going to use, she used paintbrushes to do this. I'm going to try that first. I've got some other things sitting here to do it. But my colors, I didn't even go there. Sorry. I started from, this is what you saw me, this is the Carnacum red, and that's with just a little bit of my additive to it. And this is the yellow. And the mid that I made between them. So we got a good plethora of color. What I used in between them to darken it, I used a little tiny bit of Van Dyke brown, and when I want to lighten it, I use a little bit of titanium Titan buff light. So let's get started. I'm going to put you on music and talk to you as I'm doing this. Okay, I've got my base layer down. Now what am I going to do with this? I got a little bit of working time with this because the wallpaper adhesive actually works beautifully for keeping gives you lots of working time. I'm just going to add a little bit of water to it, and I'm going to start making some marks. Yeah, I'm using one of my catalyst wedges. Again, I've got them. I might as well use them. You don't have to use catalyst wedges. You can use anything you want to make these marks. I'm just looking to create something of interest down on the paper. That's kind of hard to see in this light. So that by itself will make some interest because that's all I'm going to use pieces of this. I'm not going to use the whole thing. So that's kind of hard to see. So I think I want to do some more with this. That's the charm of this, with it being this wet, is you have working time, but you also, if you find something you're not really wild and crazy about, you can change it. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take a little tiny bit of my red. A little bit of my red. I'm just trying to mix the two a little bit. Let's put this aside. It's interesting. Am I crazy about it? Maybe something I can do with later. So I'm going to put that to the side. Wipe off my iron. Keep it clean. Don't necessarily want cross-contamination color. This is just a wet rag. I've got some bubbles, so let's get them out. I know it's hard to see the bubbles with this light, but they're there. And I want to have it as flat as I can to start with. I'm going to start out with the red. Over here I'm going to start out with a little bit of the darker red. You can see side by side what they look like. Pretty close to the same color. Because I really want a lighter and a darker. Maybe a little bit more of the brown in here. This is Van Dyke brown. Okay, now the difference is there. Let's see how well I do with this. I'm going to do an imprint over the top of this. These two colors are probably a little too similar for this technique. And I'm just going to pat it down. I don't want to make a firm adhesion. I just want to create some pattern. That's pretty subtle. That's pretty subtle. But you can see the point. If I did a heavily contrasted color, it would have made more of a difference. But for the purpose I have that I'm going to be using these for, this will be pretty much perfect for what I want to see. So I'm going to play a little bit more with these before I call these good. But let's see. They got a little bit more on that side than they did on this. I'm going to play some more with this. Okay, got some pattern, got some interest there. So I'm going to call these two where they're at. I'm going to do one more. Okay, let's talk about this just a few minutes. I got some interesting things here. This was the first one we did. The red on top of the yellow turned into a brownish orange. I'm not crazy about brown, but I think there's a lot going on here that could easily be used in pieces. So, although I'm not crazy about it, I'm not unhappy with it either. The second ones we did, the two red ones. And the red ones originally was going to start out to be a set of pieces with contrasting colors. That wasn't contrasting enough. I'll try that again for you guys another time if you'd like. But it's an interesting look. It gives a lot of depth, a lot of interest. What I decided to do afterwards, because I was mad about it, I brought up the catalyst wedges and did some swiping around. And these two actually came out kind of cool and very useful, because pieces of this, say if I were just to do that much, would be interesting in a piece, a collage. This also, I mean, I like the fact that I can see the patterns underneath, under several layers of it. So that's very, very cool. I'm not unhappy about this at all. So next is going to be the last, which is the yellow. I was looking for a variegation, did a gradient across the top to the bottom. It didn't quite work out that way, but that's okay. I didn't really say a lot while I was doing this. But in swiping around, you can see I got some interesting patterns. And if I were to take it down to just a little bit of this pattern in one place or another, even here would be okay. So, really, I'm not unhappy with today's output, and I'm really hoping you got something out of it. I'm going to leave everything down in the description that we used today, and I'll also leave Catherine's information, so you can check out our channel. This has been Thursday Train. Up before me was Gert of Gert Creates. Up after me is going to be Adrian and Corey. Art is really cool in their debut for the train. We want to welcome them for being here. We're really excited they're going to be here. Normally after that would be just Janice, but she's not going to be with us today. And we're hoping that Julie Joint come back very, very soon. So till next time, I want to thank you very much for being here and hope you have a great day. Bye for now.